Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Daily Dunc Shot. I'm Jeff Duncan, columnist for NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. Welcome back to the program, brought to you as always by Ray Brandt Infinity. Well, today I wanted to take a look at this ESPN survey that's hitting the news today around the NFL. And it's an interesting survey. They asked, among other things, which NFL team is the least desirable club for you. And this was a survey of NFL players. Which club would you least like to play for? And not surprisingly, the number one team that players would least like to play for is the Oakland Raiders. I think everybody knows their reputation and stigma of that organization. So it's not a surprise they were number one. Of course, the other teams at the top, also not a surprise. The Cleveland Browns, Buffalo Bills, Jacksonville Jaguars, all losing teams, losing for years. And in the case of Buffalo and Cleveland, in very, very inhospitable climates, very cold weather climates. So those weren't surprises, and it's not a surprise that the New Orleans Saints are not in there, but it did make me reflect a little bit, and this is what I wanted to talk about today on the Dunc Shot. The fact that the New Orleans Saints are not only not one of the least desirable franchises, but they're actually the inverse of that. They're one of the more desirable franchises in the NFL to play for. I think that, more than anything else, is the greatest accomplishment of Sean Payton and Drew Brees in this golden era of Saints football. I can't think of anything comparable in pro sports where a franchise was once a laughingstock, once a perennial cellar dweller, and is now one of the more high-profile and perceived successful franchises in their given sport, much less the NFL, one of the most dominant league in all of professional sports. The Los Angeles Clippers, I think of them a little bit. They're obviously a perennial playoff team, but they haven't reached the standards of excellence and the lofty heights that the New Orleans Saints have. I don't think they're still clearly not perceived the same way the Saints are, and that's a credit to Sean Payton and Drew Brees and the entire organization lifting itself up. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. Just think if the Jacksonville Jaguars, where they're at right now, where they're trying to go 5-6 years from now, suddenly became a perennial Monday Night Football a team that was always on national TV, that was perceived as a winning culture and a winning franchise. That's what the New Orleans Saints have done in the last 9 years. They used to be a laughingstock. They used to be the Bills, the Browns, the Raiders. They had to overpay for free agents. I remember the Wally Williams deal way back in the late 90s. They had to almost double his salary to get him to come to New Orleans. That was a common theme for general managers of the New Orleans Saints back then. It's not the case anymore. They're easily one of the more popular and clearly one of the more high-profile teams in the organization. And that, more than the Lombardi Trophy, more than all the wins, the division titles, more than all those offensive records they've set, is the greatest accomplishment of the Sean Payton, Drew Brees era. It's very, very difficult to do. That's it for the Dunc Shot today. I'll be back again tomorrow on NOLA.com. Thanks for joining me.